Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about a little bit different of a way to think about like discounts, tax, tip, sales, all that jazz. Still using the percent of a number. So I can use percent of a number. For tax, discount, we'll say sale, that's a shorter word, and such. Right, there's more of those. So in this example, it says the original cost of a coat is $150. It's on sale for 35% off. What's the sale price of the coat? The way we've been talking about it is finding that 35% of 150 first. So we don't know what the part is. Our percent is 35 divided by 100 times the whole. I do this division first. Okay. And that's $52.50 that we're taking off from the price. Right? It's a sale, the price is going down. So to find the final amount, I'm going to take the starting amount, the original cost of $150. I'm going to subtract the sale amount, which was $52.50. And we're left with the total to pay, which is $97.50. So if you prefer that way, totally fine, you go for it. I still want you to watch and see the other ways to do it. Just because you might prefer that way and you just kind of don't know. So this new way is how I do it. There's other teachers, there's other adults who do this first method, and that's totally fine. But I like to give you options. Right? There's not always like one exact way to do the math. There's multiple ways to think about it. So these two, we're going to kind of compare some options. So the first way to think about it is if I have the starting cost, that is 100% of the cost. And I'm taking away 35% of the cost, which means that I'm left with 65% of the cost to pay. So we can find 65% of the cost, which was $150. There's that way to do it. So we're still, in this case, we're looking for the part, which we get from taking the percent, 65, over 100 times the whole of 150. I'm going to change this to a decimal, 0.65 times 150 is $97.50. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is because I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to write the percent signs over and over, you know? So I'm going to change all of these to their decimal form by dividing by 100. So 100% divided by 100 is 1 as a decimal. Okay. %35 divided by 100 is 0.35 as a decimal. And then if I do the subtraction as decimal forms, I'm going to do 1 minus my discounted amount. And look, we're still left with 65%, but this time it's in its decimal form. The reason I like this way is because once you practice enough, you can kind of do this step in your head. So then we still just need to find 65% of 150. We already have that 0.65 in decimal form times the cost. And we get the same thing. So I like this method because I can do, 1 minus the decimal, whatever that is, times the cost. Great, and like, look how much less I had to write. So if you prefer the other way, still fine, but we're gonna practice this way next. So go ahead and go to the next page. All right, so here I've broken it down into steps. It says a store buys a shirt for $43 from the manufacturer and marks it up by 72% to sell to the customer. How much will the customer pay for the shirt? So first things first, we're going to change the percent to a decimal by dividing by 100. If you want to put in parentheses, divide by 100, go for it. So we're going to take 72 divided by 100 is 0.72. You can use a calculator. I do. Okay. The increase and decrease rules still apply. If it's an increase, we're going to add to 1. If it's a decrease, we're going to subtract from 1. So in this case, it's a mark up, so we're going to add. So remember that my 1 represents 100% as a decimal. We're adding an extra 72%, but as a decimal. And we get 1.72. So we're going to take that number from step 2 and multiply by the starting cost. So we're going to take 1.72 times our starting cost was $43. Type it in your calculator. Equals $73.96. And then just as a reminder, money rounds to 2 decimal places. This one already has that, so I'm good to go. All right, next one. This says, Bed Bath & More is having a going out of business sale. Everything in the store is marked down 85%. If a toaster originally cost $28.98, how much will it cost after the markdown? So again, we're going to take our percent and change it to a decimal by dividing by 100. Our percent is 85%. Divided by 100 is 0.85. Please use a calculator every single time. Okay, double check that the decimal moved correctly. If it's an increase, we're going to add that number to 1. If it's a decrease, we're going to subtract that number from 1. So I always start by writing my 1, so 100% as a decimal. This is a mark down. It's going to be less money, so we're going to subtract my percent as a decimal. So 1 minus 0.85 means we're left with paying for 15% of the cost. So we take that decimal and we multiply by the starting amount, the starting cost, which was $28.98. Get 4.347. Money rounds to 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. Look next door. It's 5 or bigger, so we add 1 more. So the 4 that I underlined becomes a 5. So $4.35 for a toaster. It's a pretty good deal. All right, so change the percent to a decimal. Then we add or subtract it from 1. That 1 represents 100% as a decimal. We're taking away the sale amount. We're left to pay 15% of it. So then we just find 50% of the cost, $4.35.